So what are possessives? Possessives are things that belong to someone or a direct relation to someone or something. The possessive is shown on the noun by means of an apostrophe and the letter S. This is Jane. This is her bag. We say this is Jane's bag. The apostrophe and the S over here tell us that this bag belongs to Jane. In this sentence, Jane's with the apostrophe and the S is the possessive noun. And the word that comes after the possessive noun tells us what belongs to Jane. In this case, a bag. This is Caleb. This is his father. We say, this is Caleb's father. The apostrophe and the S in this sentence tells us of a direct relation between Caleb and his father. It doesn't really tell us about ownership. So let's look at some simple rules on the use of the apostrophe and S to show possession. Starting with singular possessives. We will form the possessive nouns and use them in sentences. When something belongs to a singular entity or person, you add the apostrophe first and then the letter S to show possession. This is a phone and this is Adrian. To show that the phone belongs to Adrian, we say Adrian's phone using the apostrophe and S. To make a sentence, let's say Adrian's phone is ringing. This is an elephant and this is its nose. So we say elephant's nose. The elephant's nose is long. So up to this far, we've been talking about forming the possessive noun by adding an apostrophe and S. What happens when something belongs to someone whose name ends in S? How do we then show possession? Over here we have Alexis and this is her laptop. So to show possession, we say Alexis' laptop. We just used an apostrophe at the end of Alexis' name to show that Alexis owns the laptop. This is James. In his car, we will say James's car. This is a bit different because even though the name ends with an S, we added an apostrophe and S. It is important for you to note that both these forms of possessive nouns are considered correct. Now let's look at plural possessives. When something belongs to more than one entity or a person, you add an apostrophe to show possession, like this. Dog's food. This tells us that the food belongs to more than one dog. As we can see, the noun dogs is already in plural, so we don't have to add an S at the end of the noun dogs because it is already plural. We just add an apostrophe to show that the food is for more than one dog. Here are some doctors. These doctors are said to have a meeting. So how do we show that the meeting is for doctors? We say doctors meeting by just adding an apostrophe at the end of the noun doctors because the noun is already plural. It tells us that the meeting is for multiple doctors. So let's do these examples together. The sentence says, her friend's party was fun. This one says, her friend's party was fun. So what is the difference between the two sentences? In the first sentence, the party was for one friend. We see this because the apostrophe comes before the S. So we have apostrophe S. In the second sentence, the party was for more than one friend. We see this because the apostrophe comes after the S. My parents' house is beautiful. So which parent between 1, 2, and 3 is the correct one for this sentence? The answer is my parents' house is beautiful. So this is because the house belongs to more than one parent. That is why the apostrophe comes after the S. Parents is a plural noun. We have been talking about just adding an apostrophe at the end of the plural noun that ends in an S. So now what happens when the plural noun does not end in the letter S? You form the possessive by adding an apostrophe, then you add an S. Here are some toys, and here are some children. So to show that the toys belong to the children, we say children's toys. In this case, children is already a plural noun. So now let's look at joint possession. Joint possession means that two or more people equally own something. This is Ryan and Abigail. Ryan and Abigail own this farm. To show this in the possessive form, we say Ryan and Abigail's farm. Ryan and Abigail's farm is huge. To show joint ownership, the apostrophe and S go after the last name. So let's look at inanimate things. Notice how we've been talking about possession of things by people and animals and not by inanimate things. It is not very common to form possessive nouns of inanimate things, but there are some exceptions, and I'm going to talk about them just now. In recent times, we have seen how using possessives with places has become common. In this case, you can say Belgium's capital is Brussels, or something like Taiwan's population is 23 million. But to indicate the possession of other inanimate objects, preference should be given to off phrases and the usage of adjectives. It is not very common to say, the house's door is red. We say, the door of the house is red. Let's compare the following phrases. The computer's screen, the screen of the computer screen. Over here we have a possessive noun with an apostrophe and S. In this phrase, we have an off phrase. Computer here is acting as an adjective. The first sentence is very uncommon. The second and third one are more common, with the third one being the one that is more often used. We can form possessive nouns with measures of time. I will take a week's vacation. This means that vacation will last for a period of 1 week. Monday's test has been cancelled. This means that the test that was supposed to be taken on Monday has been cancelled. We don't have to repeat the noun if the meaning is clear. Eric's bed is next to Mike's. Over here, we know that when we refer to Mike's, we are talking about Mike's bed. Charlotte is spending the day at her uncle's. We know that when we refer to her uncle's, we are talking about her uncle's house. That is it for this lesson. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more similar content.